Hello, my name is Carl Pieterse. I am a South African living abroad in the UAE. Yeah, I'm 43 years old, studying now for a teacher, but I'm currently working as an engineer in the hospitality industry. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Hendrik van Zyl. I am 28 years old. I'm also from South Africa. I am an online English teacher, and yeah.
Oh,
Hi everyone, I'm Gail and I am 38 years old. I'm also studying to become a teacher, but I'm also full-time employed as a teacher and I've been in the industry now for over 10 years.
Hi everyone, I'm Jamie Lee. I'm 28 years old. I'm also currently in the educational field. I'm working as an intern at the school. Yeah.
okay. Wow, you guys come from such interesting backgrounds. Mine, my name is Ayan Samuels. I am 26 years old, and I'm studying full time online. Yeah, that's me. I'm from South Africa, and yeah, nothing interesting.
Okay, cool. Okay, and
Hi, I am Josie and I'm a full-time online student. I'm from South Africa, Northern Cape, Namakwaland. Greetings everyone, I am Josie and boys. Based on the videos that I've been watching, I'm going to share the following with you. Video 1. The learning environment is quite interesting. The walls of the classroom are covered with posters and are very colorful. Effective collaboration and participation amongst the learners are visible. The teacher incorporated different methods, resources, and approaches to accommodate all the learners and to keep them interested in the lesson. For discipline, the learners are listening in silence to the teacher. When the teacher asks questions, they do not yell answers. They do not interrupt each other or the teacher when speaking. They work well in groups together. The teacher gave different activities to the learners. They are always busy, which keeps the disciplinary problems limited. And for the video 2, the teachers give clear instructions and the learners knows what is expected from them. They use interesting approaches which keeps the interest of the learners on the topic without them getting easily distracted. That's all that I have.
yeah.
Regarding the classroom conditions, I really like that the students were facing one another when they need to do practical demonstrations, right? So that is really cool because collaboration is part of natural science and technology. What do you guys think of the outline of how the class is situated in that way?
Yeah, I agree.
I like
Yeah.
sorry, you can go.
No, you can go.
No, I like that they were kind of grouped together, especially in the first video where whenever they have to do group activities.
Yes.
And especially with that age group to keep them busy and interactive. I think the pace was also on their level because with the previous video it's fast and popping. So this was, I wouldn't say slow pace, I would just say it was a nice pace on their level.
Yeah.
And the class was nice and spacious for them to be able to move from all the different ways that she incorporated different teaching strategies and learning strategies.
Yeah.
I think Pardon? You can.
Yeah. No,
Okay,
you too.
so the primary school teacher, I noticed that before the kids came into the class, I think it was the let me just check. I think it was the third one, the third organization where she planned the papers already on the table. So everything was set up before the children came in, as well with if the children finished earlier, there were like more activities for them to continue with. So all of the children were constantly like busy all the time. And yeah, I think it's way better than the second one. So yeah.
Okay, I just want to comment quickly, and this is now for both the classes. I felt also like the classrooms were warm and engaging, neat, organized, and allows constructive learning.
Mm.
And then primary side, the first video, majority of activities are hands-on. As where the second video, the balance between hands-on and student note-taking and recording of work.
Yeah. Regarding the discipline in video 1, I just want to point out that I really liked when she introduced the lesson, right? They were all sitting on the carpet. She made the expectations of what is to come in the lesson very clear, right?
Yeah.
So the way she disciplines her classroom, she made it very clear they were all in front of her. They could see. She could also gauge from sitting there their understanding.
Yeah.
You can see that the students were focused.
I just want to add also for that specific age group, her methods that she used, like to actually keep them busy.
Yes.
Because like
Yes.
that age group, they run around, they can't sit still for long.
Yeah.
So there was like a lot of hands-on activities for them to do.
Yes.
So they never
They
got
were
bored
always
during
busy.
the lesson. So they were always
Especially the
busy, and
cycles. Yeah.
and what they were busy with was actually part of what they were learning.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And it was
Especially the
also fun.
cycles.
They
Yeah. I
And
like
also,
the fact that they had the different cycles where,
Yes.
like when you mentioned earlier, the teacher comes, when the learners come in the cycles, the different stations are already set up. So when she doesn't have to run around to prepare things, or now suddenly halfway through she realizes, oh, she doesn't have enough resources. The lessons were well planned out, and especially for that age, so that nobody's running around and fiddling and doing their own thing. Everything was well planned and
Yes.
organized, and learners can start immediately with their cycles and go on with their stuff. And what I also liked is afterwards, when they get to share what happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Giving
Yes. Yes.
the input, yes. You know how different it was from video 2 though. The teacher was in front. He was very stern, right? And he had, it's more of a teacher-centered approach that he had again.
Yes.
However, he made use of technology, which was really good in the classroom condition. And you can see that this class was very disciplined. They had to put their hand up when they needed to answer. He was very time efficient. He kept it on the board. He kept on reminding them. Created positive reinforcement. What do you guys think of video 2?
Definitely. I want to say that I felt that the students were publicly praised by the teacher and by their peers.
Yes, that was good positive reinforcement.
Yes, and I love the teacher by video 2. He was very focused on respecting one another, sharing with one another, the environment for positive reinforcement.
I love that.
That really stood out for me.
And again, also relevant to the age group, they were older learners, which was cool.
I have like one critique for the second video. I don't know if you guys have noticed, in the first half of the video, he focused mainly on the first 2 rows of the students. He didn't really focus on the back of the students. So he mainly focused on answering and giving questions for the first 2 rows and not really for the back. But then later on, when they transitioned to the group tasks, then he went to the back and like helped them. And so
I get you. I get you. You could have improved on that for sure.
Yeah.
From the second video, also when they were doing the group activity, when he told them, like, you can observe what the others are doing, but don't disrupt them. So I think that's also like something good that he instructed them to do, because normally when learners do group work, they get distracted by other learners easily. So I like that he said, don't talk to them, just observe what they are actually doing.
He set real good rules in place. His rules
and
were...
he also mentioned, I wanted to mention the, I think it was the rules or the discipline or something, where in the second video, the teacher took away points if you were disrespectful or if you disrupted the class. So I think that was like a very good discipline. I think this is one of the topics, discipline. Yeah, discipline. This was one of the good discipline methods. But in the in the first video, I did not see a lot of discipline, and I think because all the students were kind of like busy with everything, so there wasn't really necessary for any discipline. So yeah, this is my take on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to put some perspective on that, yes, it was two very different teaching styles.
Yeah.
I feel like the first one was more learner-centered, teaching where they interact and she just gauges, and the second video was more teacher-centered. He had all the control of the classroom, he led the classroom, you know what I mean? I feel like it was two good examples of different teaching strategies of videos. So yeah.
I agree.
And you can
also
see it
feel
in the
like-
learners also. So you can go.
I also feel like, I'm not sure if I said this before, but I also feel like because in the first video, like the learners are much younger, so the teacher doesn't really use harsh discipline methods, whereas in the second video, the teacher uses like the clicking of his fingers to get their attention, and he uses a countdown method, which I also sometimes use that method, like I'd say, if you can hear my voice, clap once, and then the learners would clap to get their attention.
Yes.
So I think also the age difference, also that's why the discipline approach is quite different also.
At first, the learners were always busy. I think that was also a method to keep the disciplinary problems limited. You know, because they're small and they're the type of children that's always running around classes, screaming and everything. That's why the teacher kept them busy always.
I think
What I do like about what I liked about both of them was the fact that when the learners were busy with activities, both of them moved around in between the learners to see what's happening. Are they being busy? What I liked specifically about the one teacher, he had a rule that said everybody needs to participate. Mr. Adler, the grade 6 class. And he came to one class and he told to one group, and he specifically told them that why is it possible? Why would you be not getting 1 point? And then he said, because the girl is not involved. And then he said something about everybody needs to touch the cards. Everybody must get a turn. So I like that he was so observant when he moved in between them.
Yeah.
And what I also liked about the fact when he moved around, he would give them compliments on the spot. So he would say, thank you for handing your notes in on time. Thank you for the group work. Thank you for listening. Just small things that he was praising them on the little things that he picked up. And that really stood out.
Also, the last thing I want to add, right? With the younger, if we look at, because we are studying grade 4 to 6, right? So if we look at, if we have a class for grade 4, and how they were situated according to how best they learn, they were all in little groups. Whereas the grade 6 class in the second video, right? They were facing the teacher. It's more complex information for natural sciences. You know, they need to be really focused on the teacher, his explanations, and so I feel like that's also another way of changing your teaching style for little ones compared to older kids as well.
Yeah, and where the second teacher was also, he was concerned, and I mean, there's one area where he was asking the one student if he's okay with the job they had been giving the group. So, and he made him accountable as well for their tasks.
I agree.
The last thing that I wanted to say is that both teachers shared the expectations when they had to, in the introductions, before they started with their lessons, they made sure that learners know what is going to happen from the beginning through. And then the grade 6 teacher, usually we tell our kids what to do. You are going to build a tower and the tower must be this high and this is what you're going to get. But instead of giving the learners the information, the grade 6 teacher told them they have to ask him questions. What would they like to know? And that just made them think a little bit more about the content that they're learning about.
Critical thinking for NST.
Yes, the critical thinking
Yeah.
skills, yes. And what I really liked about this teacher was the fact that for him, it's not necessarily about the end result, that the hedgehog would be able to stand and withstand the wind, but it's
Yes.
about the journey getting there,
Wow.
the steps that they needed to take to put in place. Even if your
Yes.
task was not successful, you were still able to earn 4 points. But that
That is
just
a
built in
stunning
you.
observation.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Wow.
I
agree.
love
Yeah.
it.
That's what I just also wanted to say that, yeah, it's built on what you were just saying. He shared the success criteria as a reminder to students. Yeah, it just sets them up for success, you know.
To share about the grade 6 teacher was, you know, in the during his lesson he would ask a question and then he would tell your buddy the question, or you explain to your partner what did you understood from what you just heard. So it gives them time to process the information that they just
Yeah.
received.
Mm.
Yeah, that's it.
I also noticed that the second video, Mr. Adler, his lesson was also quite structured in terms of like when he started, learners were all sitting in front, they all had to listen to him. And then he moved on to the collaborative learning where learners moved to sit together and he moved around the class as well to observe that they're all working. So I
Yeah.
also like that the first part of the lesson is focused on like listening to the teacher, like getting to know like what the objective of the lesson is, and then working with your partners in your groups.
Henko, anything you want to share
Um,
about expectations?
Expectations. Let me just see if I do have something on expectations. No, I think everything was yeah, as I think someone has already said it, that at the beginning the expectations were given to everyone. One
Yeah.
thing, I don't know if this is related to the topic or something, but in the first video I like how the first teacher incorporated relevancy, I think it's relevancy, relevant things, and then translate, no, relevant things and then linked it to the science lesson. So for instance, the teddy bear thing,
Yes.
where she mentioned the cold, you know, for that age, I think all of them like knew everything about, you know, going outside and then it's cold, so they knew exactly, or they could relate to it. And then she used this
Yeah.
to like demonstrate the science, you know, the warmth of the cloth. They needed to explain why is it going to be warm, and then she asked open-end questions, you know, for observation from the
Yeah.
students, and they could give their opinions as well. So it's kind of like a very well-rounded introduction, you know, so they can give their opinions and she could see their levels and everything like that. So yeah.
Very
I
good
also
point.
noticed that with the properties of materials, where she actually had the piece of material. Like usually in like the schools here, I'm not sure, like we under-resourced, so we don't generally have like things to stimulate the learners that they can touch or whatever. So it was good that she actually had materials, because sometimes learners can't, like there is a picture of it, but they can't envision it, so they can't feel it, so they don't know like what can we actually say. But in feeling the piece of material or seeing it, they can see that okay, this material will like provide warmth or whatever. So
Yes.
True.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
guys. You guys did amazing. Thank you guys for showing up on time, and everything was well organized.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you
you guys. That was really good.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Very
much.
much.
Thank you so much.
Really
Okay.
Thank
fun.
you.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you guys for
Bye-bye.
sharing your
Bye-bye.
input.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.